Shalom. Let's start out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Salutations to those that's pushing this truth across the four corners of the earth, how I faith, truth, and sincerity. All right, this is the brother. I'm on one above from the Birmingham camp about GMS. Just gonna get to the sin. Just going to about how the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelites, unto this day we're in our captivity. We are subject to, being servants to another nation. Who's that nation that's in rulership right now? It's a so-called white man, Esau, Edom, red man. So you so-called Negro, Latino, natives, which are the Israelites, you think you have some type of freedom, which really you don't. Because if you really had some freedom, you wouldn't have a social security card, or pay taxes, or so forth. Where's that money going to? So you gotta keep in mind, so-called Negro, Latino natives, we don't have nothing really of our own, in this world that's ran by the so-called man Esau Edom. This is, they really own, most of the things of this earth. Not all, but most of it, because they ain't rulership, and to be real, keep it real, so-called Negro, Latino natives, we, the people, are being are owned by the bankers, the elites of Esau Edom. Because like I say, you got a social security card, so that right there, it just shows that you are a number, that once you get a job or whatever thing may be, all that money's going to them. So like I say, we are here and subject under these heathens, man. So we don't have no real type of freedom, or really we shouldn't even boast. And really knowing that we're Israelites, that's a good thing, But we still, under rule of this so-called white man, he's got to be put out of power. And he will once the Lord Yahweh Shah returns. But I'm getting to it. BARUCH 3:8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and curse, and a curse. So we, like I say, behold, yet this day we're in our captivity. The so-called Negro, Latino natives, we have been scattered across the four corners. We have been kicked out. We have got kicked out of our original land, which is the land of Israel. Which is being occupied by those fake wanna be Jewish people. They're not the real people of the Lord over there in that land of Israel today. So the real people of the Lord are so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelites. If you can't receive that, But we've been scattered for a reproach and a curse. We under the curses. We are every time you look up, there's always something going on. Like you can't get nowhere. You're getting put back down. Or, misfortunes. Can't come up in this society because we're under the curses. And the curse is Esau Edom, as we know, because he's the one that's in rule. And he's oppressing the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelites. And we are and to be subject to payments. And like I say, we are subject to these payments. We gotta pay bills. Pay tributary. to these heathens, you know, and to the so-called man Esau Edom, man. You know, but reading on to, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. So yeah, so we paying for the iniquities of our forefathers, you know, that departed from the Lord, you know, departed from the ways of the Lord Yahweh Shah. You know, they had put off, you know, the ways of the Lord and following customs of heathens that the Lord hate, you know. So Lord Yahweh Shah had, it was prophesied that we're gonna be bought, be bought into ships, you know, and been bought to another land that we don't know about, you know, being under, you know, I say being slaves, you know, servants to these heathen nations, you know, and subject to payments and so forth to this day. So we'll go to Jeremiah 17:4, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. So the Lord Yahweh saying, hey, once we got kicked out of our land of Israel, we discontinue for our heritages. In this time, because it's something called reincarnation. Re means back, carnation means back in the flesh. So there's no such thing as that. You have one life to live. No, everything is reincarnated. Everything's come back. It comes back. So so-called Negro Latinos, in this time that we are the end of Esau Edomite's rulership. We are bought here for, like I say, to be servants, and then discontinue for our heritage. We don't know who he is. We didn't know who he was until, like I said, the apostle, elders, and brethren, brought this truth out, by way of the internet. Starting with Albert Bibbins, they hit the ground running, pushing the truth and and the rest, and the apostles back then, and up to now, from the apostle, elders, and great millstone, that been laboring for years, has brought forth the truth and the knowledge of the word of the Lord, who are the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelites, So, but we had discontinued for that. We didn't know who he was before this truth had came out. We was being called Negro, Negro, Latino, natives, the bywords, being called nigger, spicks, wetbacks, whatever byword you can think of, But that's not who we truly are. That's not who the so-called Negro, Latino natives are. We are children of the most high power, though. Most high power, Yahweh Shai. We are the Israelites, the true Lord, the true people of the Lord, But the Lord Yahweh Shai has, had took that away from us, but it's being brought back now in these last days of Esau Edom's kingdom. But reknowing that I would cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. So what's the land that knowest not? To serve our enemies in the land that we know is not is America, Babylon the Great, So we are, like I said, so-called Negro Latino natives to this day. Like I said, we are just servants to these heathens, man. Being, like I said, subject to payments. Paying tributary. We don't have our own standing army, our own land and our own resources that we could, have for ourselves to, be pushed down for, generation to generation, so we, you had your grandparents, so forth. They worked all their lives, but they couldn't pass down nothing to you. They weren't wealthy, couldn't, pass nothing down to you, Now you might, you maybe, you have probably some, but not necessarily all Israel. So-called Negro Latino natives didn't have, their great parents or whatever, so forth, passed down to their children, their wealth and so forth, or resources like that, or land, because we are under the curses, to where we really can't have that established here in this time. That's when, the only time we're gonna have that established when Lord Yahweh returns to take down the so-called Esau Edom, his policy, and then the curses will be off us, and then the elect of the so-called Negro Latino Israelites, will be be governing and ruling in righteousness under the Lord Yahweh, David, in the house of David, in that order, and be ruling, in righteousness. But reading on, for you have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So we had kindled a fire in the Lord, because like I said, we went off, our forefathers went off, so we had to pay for the things our forefathers did, and I said unto this day, but we are at the end of this punishment, and it's not gonna be long before Lord Yahweh he's gonna have. Right now, he is showing his mercy and grace upon us with this truth and knowledge of the word that's being brought back to the elect of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelite men, that the Lord Yahweh had woken up to receive his knowledge and to come back to him in all fear and praising him, giving him honor and glory. That's why we say we got all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh for this knowledge, and to have hope and mercy and deliverance from him. But let's see. I'm gonna Baruch 2:28. As thou spakest by thy servant Moses in the day when that thou didst command him to write the law before the children of Israel, saying, that's Baruch 2:29, if you would not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter them. So yeah. So if back in those times, so we didn't hear the law of the Lord that was by Moses, that the so-called Negro Latinos Israelites would be scattered amongst the other nations, like I say, put into slavery, be brought into slavery, man. A great multitude of people turned into small because we got scattered, we broke off, the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom, we broke off from each other, and because we didn't hearken, like I said, our forefathers didn't hearken, we didn't take heed, to the warning, from Moses, from the Lord, and so today we are being punished. But like I said, our iniquity, our captivity and punishment is just about up, because we seen the ending, and we seen the ending in the prophecies coming to pass of this so-called Esau Edomite rule, this wicked devil that's in rulership, that the Lord Yahweh he's gonna, bring his great wrath of judgment upon, and these devils gonna go into hardcore bondage next, these so-called white people, red people, they gonna go in hardcore bondage, but they're gonna get it double, they're gonna get it worse, because they took it overboard, man, with the beatings, and lynching and so forth, with the punishment, with the harsh punishment they put on the so-called Negro Latino Native Israelites. But Baruch 2:30, for this, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. So yeah, so-called Negro Latino natives, we are the so-called Negro Latino natives, are hard-headed, man. They don't want to take heed to a warning, or, you know, take heed to what Moses was saying. But read on, but in the land of that captivity they shall remember themselves. So so-called Negro Latino Israelites, you know, but it's gonna be the elect, you know, that the Lord, you know, you have Israelites that, you know, I say, you know, that if they know this truth, you know, have come to the truth, but the Lord Yahweh really dealing with the Israel, the Most High, the elect, you know. And I say we are remembering, the so-called Negro Latinos are remembering themselves in their captivity, you know. And I say what's next to come is rulership. And once the so-called white man, once the Lord Yahweh bring the so-called white man down out of his power seat, destroy, and wipe out America, Babylon the Great, and different countries, it's gonna get destroyed by the fire by way of the thermonuclear missiles, and by the chariots, so-called UFOs, but ultimately the thermonuclear missiles. The Lord Yahweh is gonna set up, starting with the elect of the nation Israel, Israelites, the 144,000 men, that was chosen from the beginning to, have that mercy and deliverance from the Lord, and to rule and rulership forever. Because this kingdom, the kingdom of Israel, so-called Negro Latino Israelites, is gonna be forever. And this kingdom that's temporary. The things of this world, Esau Edomite rulership is just for a moment, and it's gonna be gone. It's gonna be done away with once the Lord Yahweh returns, to take this devil Esau Edom out of his power seat. So yeah, so I ain't gonna make that too long. I just want to go into that, about how the so-called Negro Latinos, to this day we're in that captivity, but like I say, we are at our end of this rule, of our being servants under this devil Esau Edom, man, this wicked devil, So what's next to come is rulership. So with that, I didn't want to make this too long. So again, I like all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahshua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, to the apostles, elders, to the Sasakim brothers, to the few Aqua sisters that do listen, keep the faith, and Yahshua keep finding that say shalom.